Welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. I think we're going to work on a Courier a little tonight. Got some parts in. Remembering we're looking at dealing with an ignition swap here, and this is the time to do it. So let's go ahead and get all of this back out and take a look, see what we're going to do here. Shouldn't be too bad. ShopDog's already had a pretzel and now he's going to take a nap. While we're taking this out and pulling hoses, just want to keep track of where everything is, and remember that I wanted to add that little bit on that line. To make this go about as painless as it's going to, went ahead, figured out the wiring, figured out where one is, and this is where we were, where it's turned is here because it's going to be before. Remember, this spins the wrong way. So that's where we were firing, so that's probably 10 degrees before top dead center, but for now we're at top dead center, and that'll get us in the ballpark when we go ahead and drop the new Dizzy in. So that's what I need to know. And just to show that you can't ever buy anything good, this is brand new. Sliding it on there, can't get it over the bumper, but the second you turn your back, both of those let loose. I can't even get her down here. You'll see, that's it. So this car cover was supposed to fit this specific car, and was a waste of money because everything you buy now is just junk. It's frustrating. Alright, we're going with a Pertronics unit this time because I'm still mad at MSD, and you know, it's actually a little cheaper and should work perfectly. So before I go pulling this, I'm going to pop this big cap back on and see where everything is relative to the carburetor. I'm just curious how much taller all of this nonsense is going to be. So I'm going to get that. Also, I will put assembly lube on here, make sure everything is good, check my pins, and I will be popping the cap and seeing what advanced mechanism is set up. One thing that's nice with a distributor is you can re-index things pretty easily. Knowing where I'm at, you know, at top dead center, and deciding where I want this for easiest access, instead of it pointing directly into all of the water like it was before, this is where I've got her going right here, just in front of that. So this is top dead center, number one. So all I got to do is see, I got a little mark. We're a little past it. That little mark means this is going to be my number one. Because you can move them around however you want. But that's going to put this in as convenient a spot as possible. I understand this engine doesn't draw a lot of vacuum, and I guess technically we could probably just do a delete on that and be happier. But it had vacuum before. I'm not here to make changes. I'm just here to do this water system, clean up some wiring, you know, deal with, you know, well, about 50,000 things that keep popping up. But this is going to give us a little more room. The one thing I'm not sure about yet is the air cleaner. So we'll be testing that in just a few minutes. Yeah, we're going to have to get a little creative here. ShopDog says let's grab some Play-Doh. Let's see where the roof goes, or where the lid goes down. Are we cutting these nubbies off? What are we doing here? So you can see I'm not all the way down. In fact, to be all the way down on the turner, might not be able to get there from here. Stuck on something. There we go. Oh yeah, now I can't get down because there's that lip for the fuel level. Okay, yeah. Maybe these little nubbies may have to come off. We'll see. ShopDog says, we knew this would happen. I know I've shown this trick before, but Play-Doh is your friend when you're trying to clearance check something you can't see. So I will gently set this down, and then this is going to tell us how close we are to the hood, depending on how far it squishes down, and should also kind of mark the hood for me as well, so I know where my limits are, because Sure would like to be able to raise that a little bit. This gives us a little bit of room. I'll get out the calipers in a minute. You can see in the back, not a big deal at all. But up front, you can see when you hit the Play-Doh right here. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to bring her up a bunch. But let me measure it. The 2 spacers I had on hand are a little too much. So, still working this out in my mind. You can see just how close that is when she's all the way down. That is on a gasket. You can see there's an interference problem right there. So, just got to think this through. Let me get a calipers and find out just how much thinking it through I need. Okay, well, I don't have both gaskets in, but I threw a, well, 1/2 inch, you know, it's actually a little less than that spacer in. And that, you know, pretending this was all screwed down, that might get us in our ballpark. Not real happy here, but I'm going to throw a couple gaskets on this and see if that makes a difference. But the thing is, before I do anything, I want to do the Play-Doh test real quick and see if I'm causing myself some trouble. Well, it's not going to take a rocket surgeon to see that that is really close. I mean really close. With the motor moving around, that's not really going to work out. Which means I got to rethink this. This Pertronics may be going back. That's a bummer. Obviously, 1, going to drop the carb back down at some point, but 2, got to check with Harlan and see what he thinks about maybe doing, not so much this Ford one, but I'm seeing a bunch of 13-inch Cobra ones that are cast, and I think that would be in keeping with what he wanted everything to look like. So I'll keep thinking on that. I really still do think this is his better choice going forward. Oh, and you saw I found an old boot and trimmed that off just to see. So, got to think on that. Did not expect to spend as much time on this as I have, but, you know, when I ordered this, they gave you dimensions from here. I'm pretty sure I showed you all that at one point. And this is definitely taller than I had expected it to be. Part of that is because of the cant, because of how it rides the cam. And it throws this side up higher than I expected. So, yeah, always been a problem for these Fords, though, is the air cleaners are always an issue. One of the things we got to start thinking about is where can we mount this that uses up some existing holes. Alright, let me set that down. Let me turn the camera. Now I'll have to set the water bottle back in. But I'm wondering, can I get away with this one? Or even using, see there's an inside hole here. Hopefully you can see that. Get that one started there and have one here maybe. You know, I think that would more than clear the water bottle, but I'd want to check. But I could put, you know, a bolt in there and a nut cert here. And that sure would be nice. Safe, out of the way. So, gotta think of that yet. One of the other goodies that we did get is a filter to go here that has an in and an out and will not easily unscrew like that one did. So, should make a giant difference in safety. And with that, ShopDog is exhausted. I've got a lot of thinking to do and a little reading. I just want to see if I have a better solution before we commit to anything. So at this point, I need to do a little more research on something that I thought I had. So you never know what you don't know until you find out the fun way. So then sometime in the not too distant future, I have got to start pulling this stuff apart so that we can get those off to sandblasting. Not looking forward to getting all that apart, but it's got to be done. And still got to do doors and that front valance, which is still in the car. But we got these moved before the weather really turned bad. It's pretty nasty out there It's a little too warm for a snowstorm, so you get a little rain, a little sleet, a little ice, and a little snow. Never very good. And then don't forget, want to add a little bit of length here just to keep this from contacting that frame. And I think I'll even try to find something to put here to act as a softening agent of some sort. And then you can see the angles. That all worked. And I've got my notes on where the fan is going. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. That's turning out not to be too bad. The thing that, you know, it's always this way though. You start adding some stuff to the project, and this is what always happens. Things don't fit. So anyway, ShopDog says thank you. He's going to go in. He's going to give himself a treat because he's pretty good tonight.